Hello everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this new Hulk review. Incredible Hulk issue 104 has the Hulk facing the Rhino. This is issue 686 in a complete Marvel Comics reading order. This issue released March 7th, 1968, and a cover date of June 1st, 1968. The cover shows a tired, slumped down Hulk leaning on a tree, and a Rhino charging to impale Hulk with his horn head. I like the cover's line of, "Look out, strong man, here comes the Rhino." The story is written by Gary Friedrich, penciled by Mary Severin, inked by Frank Giacola, lettered by Sam Rosen, and there is no colorist listed for this issue. And the story is titled Ring Around the Rhino. The story opens up with Hulk, aka Bruce Banner, captured by General Thunderbolt Ross and Major Glenn Talbot. Banner tells the two that he knows of a way to cure himself of the Hulk once and for all, but he gets sedated after freaking them out with his yelling and charging at them. Next, we see the supervillain Rhino, previously a Spider-Man villain until Spidey came up with a chemical that melted his suit off of him. The Rhino has been approached by the Soviet spies who gave him the Rhino suit before to make him the Rhino again, so he can kidnap Bruce Banner. And for context, this is the Rhino's fourth appearance in comics. His 2 episodes in the Spider-Man 1967 cartoon happened before this issue too. Bruce Banner, still unconscious, is being transported to JFK Airport so we can go back to the Air Force Base. Betty Ross is there with her father and Talbot because of her love for Banner. I love how this panel shows everyone's concerns over Banner. Betty and her care for Bruce, General Ross with wanting to get rid of the Hulk threat forever, and Talbot being in love with Betty but wanting to get her with her in a way that doesn't involve Banner. The Rhino rams into the ambulance carrying Banner, and with Banner still drowsy from the chloroform, it's easy for Rhino to just pick him up and carry him. With his new armor, bullets in the NYPD can't slow him down. But with all the commotion, including Rick Jones returning to run into the Rhino's getaway helicopter with his car, Bruce becomes the Incredible Hulk and escapes the Rhino's grasp, becoming a Hulk vs. Rhino fight. Yes, in here, the Rhino can go toe-to-toe against the Hulk. Back then, the Hulk wasn't as strong as he is nowadays. I want to talk about the Rhino in this first. In here, he gets his suit back because he believes he can't have a normal life because of his arrest. He's just an ex-con, as he says. So when the men who transformed him into the Rhino offer him the chance to become powerful again, he takes it. Bygones be bygone. Now, his suit is stronger than last time, and Rhino himself is super powered with gamma rays. The Rhino is a lot more of a character in here and has a little bit of a personality. He thinks more about his actions here than before, which is a little funny because he admits in this story that he needs his partners to actually be something meaningful. At the end of the fight with his partners, or when his partners leave him, Rhino has actually gonna leave the airport, but the Hulk continued to fight Rhino to prove that he was the strongest one there is. Now, the Hulk causes a massive fire after hitting the Rhino with a fuel truck. The Rhino is caught in the flames and is blinded. The Hulk saves him and he leaps into a bay to put out the flames they're both under. They survive with minor burns, but the Rhino's costume is ripped open. Yes, the Hulk saves his foe right here. The Hulk was the one who continued to fight with Rhino, and he was the one who smashed the truck in the Rhino, but anyway. Considering most people view the Hulk as a mindless monster, it's a pretty nice moment to see him save an enemy. The Rhino afterwards starts bad-mouthing the Hulk, saying he would win their fight and he's human and the Hulk's not. The Hulk then states that the Rhino will die. I love how Rhino's horn, and I guess you would call it helmet, around his face is still intact, but you can see how torn and burnt his whole suit is in this image, to the point where you can just see his naked arms. I also love how it's all colored here. So Rhino then tries to fight the Hulk with a damaged suit. Rhino is going to fight the Hulk to the death, so he dies a winner, believing he is too hurt to survive that day. The Rhino fails and dies on the field. Having the Rhino become suicidal in the end makes this story suddenly dark. One of the scientists that turned Rhino, and again we don't get Rhino's real name here. When the helicopter leans to the side as Banner becomes the Hulk, he gets tossed out and dies. His name was Igor Stanislavs, who is such a minor character in the Marvel Universe that he doesn't even have a fandom page. One thing this issue does really well is build up and show the threat of the Hulk onto other people. This moment reminds me of King Kong. The Hulk in this story shows that he is becoming more self-aware, and I like that. At the start of the fight, the Rhino rams into the Hulk's back, throwing him a distance, and the Hulk was already groggy because as Bruce Banner, he was chloroformed by the Rhino's partners. And one of the regular bad guys takes Betty Ross as a hostage, and Betty still only fears for Bruce, even when he's the Hulk. but that changes soon after. Also, I want to bring up this tidbit. When Banner gets drugged, it affects the Hulk sometime, even after he changes. And two, well, Betty Ross seems to have completely thrown away any romantic feelings to Bruce Banner at the end here. I actually really like how Betty was written. She ultimately snaps at the end where she becomes afraid of the Hulk. The Hulk then kidnaps her from General Ross and everybody. Hulk thinks he is helping Betty, taking her away from his, Hulk's, enemies. But of course, he's doing the exact opposite. And it leads into the next issue. In this issue, though, Rick Jones got over giving up on the Hulk pretty fast, as in here he crashes into the Rhino's helicopter to save Bruce Banner. His role in here was so small, but being a Rick Jones fan and knowing how much he's around the Marvel Universe, I guess this was to show him still doing heroic actions and getting over his own vindicativeness towards the Hulk. I think this has great art with the fighting. Especially this move where Hulk flips the Rhino, slamming his head into the ground. I am surprised that the Rhino was able to stand up to the Incredible Hulk for so long as he did. The point of Rhino coming back was to have him fight the Hulk, and the Hulk is known as the strongest one there is. Of course, that was his catchphrase at the time, not Hulk Smash. And I like that, well, I don't know if I should say that I like it, but I think it stands out that Rhino seemingly died at the end of this issue. Also, I was trying to say in the last panel that Rick Jones was getting over his own vindictiveness towards the Hulk. It was pretty obvious that the writer gave Rhino some gamma radiation power so that he would be more believable fighting the Hulk. I like the Rhino in here as a little bit more relatable, or trying to be more relatable, since the Hulk is treated more as an actual threat. I have found the Hulk series to be better read as a monster mag instead of a superhero mag, so the whole coming out of Banner being seen as threatening does make me hinder back and forth on who I think should win the fight. Like, if Rhino got his way, no Bruce Banner, sure, but no Hulk. And that would make General Ross, Major Talbot, and me for his change in the issue, Rick Jones, happy. Also, I saw that technically the suit changed to Rhino's DNA also, causing him to mutate, so now he's 7'5" in height instead of 6'5". I don't know how much that goes into his future appearances. Ultimately, this is a really fun story to me that has all the parts of the Bruce Banner's life at this time, some character developments with the Hulk actually saving his enemy's life, and of course, it's a crazy Rhino story with him jumping at the chance to fight the Hulk to the death. And now let's look at the letter pages. Greenskin's grab bag. The first writer loves the artwork on the Hulk and Namor, the Submariner. The next writer loved Tales to Astonish 100 with a battle between the Hulk and the Submariner, although he hated how Puppet Master reacted to Hulk throwing Namor into the sea, and he asked for a Namor versus Thor fight in the future. The next letter criticized the art in Tales to Astonish 100, saying Hulk doesn't look like a monster anymore, and Namor looks more human too. And that Hulk needs to meet the X-Men and Daredevil before he's met every hero in the Marvel Universe. Another points out that in Hulk issue 101, when he shrunk while in mid-leap, he shouldn't have automatically started falling down. One guy who wrote, "Is happy Hulk and Captain America are getting their own mags." I didn't think the letter pages were that great this time. There was a page in the comic that had an advertisement for superhero t-shirts back then. I just wanted to show you them. And there's also an ad for 2 new Marvel series, Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts, and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was the Incredible Hulk issue 104. I would still say this is one of my favorite Rhino stories. This is the first time the Rhino has fought the Hulk, and he now begins to fight the Hulk more than Spider-Man for a time. Yes, there was a time Rhino was a staple in the Hulk lore. Saying that makes me realize that Abomination kind of took the Rhino's role when it came to Hulk villains. Also, someone said that this cover looks like the Rhino is about to attack Hulk while he's sleeping. LOL. Alright, with all that said, I thank you for watching, and have a good day.